All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops, a great millstone. I'm your brother, Rabbi Knapp, coming out with a lesson. Lord's will, this is edifying to the Lord's elect. It says, full press conference, U.S. has tremendous leverage over Venezuela, says Rubio. Let's see what he's talking about.
Now we want to get to Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. Let's listen.
Step one is the stabilization of the country. We don't want it descending into chaos. Part of that stabilization, and the reason why we understand and believe that we have the strongest leverage possible, is our quarantine. As you've seen today, 2 more ships were seized. We are in the midst right now and, in fact, about to execute on a deal to take all the oil. They have oil that is stuck in Venezuela. They can't move it because of our quarantine and because it's sanctioned. We are going to take between 30 and 50 million barrels of oil. We're going to sell it in the marketplace at market rates, not at the discounts Venezuela was getting. That money will then be handled in such a way that we will control how it is dispersed in a way that benefits the Venezuelan people, not corruption, not the regime. So we have a lot of leverage to move on the stabilization front. The second phase will be a phase that we call recovery, and that is ensuring that American, Western, and other companies have access to the Venezuelan market in a way that's fair. Also, at the same time, begin to create the process of reconciliation nationally within Venezuela so that the opposition forces can be amnestied and released and from prisons or brought back to the country and begin to rebuild civil society. And then the third phase, of course, will be one of transition. Some of this will overlap. I've described this to them in great detail. We'll have more detail in the days to follow. But we feel like we're moving forward here in a very positive way.
So how long will this?
Yeah, so he gonna stabilize the country. Let him fucking tell her, get the fuck out of here. You know, he's talking about he quarantining. You mean you blockaded? You besieged it? I mean, those are other terms I would think. You think quarantine is something to prevent. Let's look up that word as a matter of fact. Look this up. Define quarantine. Stay on your ass. He saw a state, period, or place of isolation in which people or animals that may have been exposed to infectious diseases are placed. That's what I would think. When I think quarantine, you're trying to prevent a disease from spreading. But Esau, you're that disease, man. Don't you understand? And you're spreading. All right? Matter of fact, let's go grab this precept. Green Bay tree. That's Esau, man. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong. Green Bay tree. Oh, what did I do? There we go. Psalms 37 and 35. I have seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree. Let's look this up. That's what Esau is doing. He's spreading like a disease. Now he's in Venezuela. Now he wants the whole Western Hemisphere, he's saying. Then he wants the whole world. Job 9 and 24. Psalms 37 and 35 means that the apparent power and success of wicked people who seem strong and rooted like a flourishing native tree is ultimately temporary and deceptive. They will soon disappear, while the upright have a lasting future with them. A theme of contrasting fleeting worldly success with eternal divine justice and hope for righteousness. I don't like this explanation. Let me see what else it says. Key themes in Psalms 37-35. Observation of the wicked. The verse describes the psalmist's personal observation of powerful, ruthless individuals who seem to thrive, comparing their prosperity to a luxuriant tree in its native soil, or green bay tree, depending on translation. Symbolizing of the tree, this image represents vitality, strength, and deep roots, suggesting the wicked appear secure, influential, and undisturbed by life's troubles. Yeah, but the fact that they're spreading themselves is the issue here. Okay, if you were native, your roots are gonna be where you're naturally from. Esau, he ain't where he naturally from. He's always in somebody else's place. Like it tells you in the book of Genesis. It said he'd be a fugitive and a vagabond. Genesis 4 and verse 14, behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. Let's look at this word vagabond. Yes, this is talking about Cain, but this is Esau. Okay, a wandering. That's what he is. He's a wanderer. Let's just look this up because sometimes this be going off. Search vagabond. A vagabond is a wanderer, someone who without a fixed home, often seen as an idle or a tramp. But the term also refers to several popular cultural works, including, this is just going off, just define vagabond, man. A vagabond is a person who wanders from place to place without a permanent home, regular job, or visible means of support, often living an unsettled, nomadic, or idle life. I don't know what it means by idle. What you mean you live in an idle life? Idle, of a person avoiding work, lazy, without purpose or effect, pointless. Well, wasted away is he. So now he's over there, he's demanding things, telling them what to do. As a matter of fact, what's this? Yeah, this is what I wanted to see. It says, as a matter of fact, am I done? Spreading himself like a green bay tree. Metal not with many matters, Ecclesiasticus 11 and 10. Let's go over there real quick. That's what he's doing. He's in everybody's business. Okay. He's telling the president over there, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna stop selling oil to all of our adversaries. All right, we're gonna set up an election process, and through due process, we're gonna get somebody that we want in there except for you. But right now, you're gonna temporarily be there. Ecclesiasticus 11 and 10. My son, meddle not with many matters, for if thou meddle much, thou shalt not be innocent, and if thou follow after, thou shalt not obtain, neither shalt thou escape by flying. See, you're not going to be able to escape. You're going to put yourself in a position where you're not going to be able to get your ass up out of. Okay? That's why you want to kind of tend to the matters at home. You don't want to be in everybody's business. It's only going to lead to trouble. As you can see, he got people in his own allies are mad in Greenland. Europe coming out saying they're gonna back their coalition, so they're gonna do what they're gonna be on what Greenland side before America. Okay, but yet he's over there doing that. Then he's in Israel, in Venezuela, and in Syria. He's just in everybody's shit, not tending to his own home. And over here, you got nothing but protests going on. You got to get your house in order, man. Where did I want to go see? Let me go over here. It says Times of India. It says round 2 of U.S. attack on Venezuela confirmed. Trump throws fresh demands at Delcy Rodriguez, which is the sitting president for Nicolas Maduro.
The White House may have seized Caracas, but Washington's next move is even more explosive. Behind closed doors, the Trump administration is reportedly laying out demands for Venezuela's interim leader, Delcy Rodriguez, demands that sources say are designed not to empower her, but to discard her. According to a Politico report citing multiple insiders, Washington expects Rodriguez to comply with a list of pro-American measures only to be removed once those demands are met. U.S. officials are reportedly demanding that Rodriguez crack down on narcotics trafficking, expel Iranian, Cuban, and other foreign operatives hostile to Washington, and halt
Iranian, Cuban, and other hostile. So Russia too? You didn't mention them.
Oil sales to countries deemed U.S.
Stop with the oil sales to countries. Let me rewind this a lot.
And halt oil sales to countries deemed U.S. adversaries. Sources told Politico that Washington also expects Rodriguez to eventually oversee free elections and then...
Okay, so I don't want to go too fast. Washington to oversee elections. So I go into your state, I take your president, and now I'm demanding you to do what I tell you to do. Sounds like a, you know how you kidnap somebody and then you send a ransom, say, I want this, this, and that. Okay, that's some like movie shit, man. We got your president, these are our demands. You either do this or he'll never, we'll kill him. Who knows what the hell is he saying? It's like a damn pirate, like a thug. Tells you in the book of Exodus 20 and 15. Let me just grab that. And it's just going to show you that, actually, there's a couple of precepts, but anyways, Exodus 20, verse number 15, thou shalt not steal. Very simple. We should all know that this is a moral thing that most people understand. You're not supposed to steal, man. When something don't belong to you, you know. But Esau, he's the wicked, so he has to do it. He has to transgress the law. That's how he operates. It tells you in the book of Genesis, the 3rd chapter, that on thy belly shalt thou go. Okay. So that's him being a snake. A snake can't stand upright. Spiritually, Israel's upright. You know, they'll work with you. You know, we'll sit down. We'll negotiate a plan that works for both of us. That's a righteous deal. We both benefit from the deal. But when it comes to Esau, he can't do it like that. He has to benefit, and you got to get robbed at the end. You got to take the low when you do business with Esau. This book of Genesis, chapter 3. In verse number 14, and the Lord God, or the Lord Yahweh power, said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. So being on your belly, that's not standing on your feet. So you're not being upright. And this is the type of, when you're dealing with a snake, you gotta have that discernment to understand that this dude through the spirit is on his belly, man. He's not thinking right, man. He's like confused. He's confusing. Dust represents confusion. Okay, but the confusion is clear when you know what you're working with. Even though he stands on his feet, spiritually he's just he's a snake. So you have to acknowledge that. I'm done with PHXF. That's a 12-minute video. I just want to skim through a couple of these videos. Let me see what else you're saying.
Step aside, though no timeline has been fixed. One source close to the see free elections and then step aside, though no
give free elections and then step aside.
Timeline has been fixed. One source close to the Trump administration described Rodriguez as being on a short leash, claiming officials were confident they could steer her in any direction before disposing of her politically. The report
You hear that shit? We can steer her. Let me see. This nigga really think he the Most High, man. That's a lot.
Could steer her in any direction before disposing of her politically.
Yeah, you're a funny dude, man. Esau is hilarious. Proverbs 21:1. It says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, Yahweh. Okay, not Esau. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So he can he's turning the hearts and minds of these kings. He's the one who disposes of kings and sets them up, like he tells you. Let me grab it, Daniel 4, verse 17. There's a couple of precepts. This matters by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, which are the angels, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men and giveth it to whomsoever he will and setteth up over it the basis of men. But Esau thinks, nah, I'm the Most High. I'm going to have you for a temporary point of time, and then I'm going to dispose you and set somebody else that I feel like I want to set up. But that he ain't got the power. It's the Lord that's doing all this, to showing you the pride of this damn devil, man. Let me grab this in the book of Proverbs, I think. No, Psalm 75. In verse 6, for promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south, but the heavenly Father is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. So he's the one who sets these kings and puts them into position. I'm thinking of another precept. The Lord sets up kings and put down kings, KJV. Something like that. Daniel 2, verse 21. Let's see what this is saying. Daniel 2 and 21. He changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. So he's the one removing the kings and setting them up. He's the one who had, you know what, I'm done with Maduro. Go get his ass. Even if it's fake or not, whatever you want to call it, the Lord had it play out the way he wanted it to play out. Now he's not there, right? And another woman is supposedly in charge. Even if it's a script and Esau wrote it, the Lord had him write it this way. This is what's going on. So don't think the Lord is out of control of what's going on, man. Ain't nothing really going on outside of the Lord's will. Everything is being done perfectly done to his will. If that's what he wants people to believe, then that's what it is, man. Okay? So he's the one that's removing these kings, but Esau got it in his head that he can do the same thing, and he can't. It's just his pride telling him this is how much pride this devil actually has. His pride is telling him, yeah, I'm the one who did that and did this. No, you didn't. First Maccabees 8:1. Now Judas had heard of the fame of the Romans, that they were mighty and valiant men, and such as would lovingly accept all that joined themselves unto them, and make a league of amity with all that came unto them, and that they were men of great valor. It was told him also of their wars and noble acts, which they had done against the Galatians, and how they had conquered them and brought them under tribute. And that's what they did with Venezuela. You know, they conquer people, bring them under tribute, meaning have you pay them. And what they had done in the country of Spain, I don't know what this little thing is, and what they have done in the country of Spain for the winning of the mines of the silver and gold, which is there. And that's what he's looking for in Venezuela. You go to Deuteronomy 33:24, it talks about Asher's blessing. It says the brass and the iron. So he got mineral goods that he's looking for. And I also saw something online that Venezuela was, they were just like Honduras, I believe, they were investing in Bitcoin and things like that. He's coming after that Bitcoin too. Anything that this devil, he said he has reserves. They think he's sitting on like 100. I don't know if it's true or not, but this is what I heard. Like over like 160,000 Bitcoin. So he's sitting on a shit ton of Bitcoin, gold. Maduro got dough, man. Maduro must got some paper. And then the price of gold, where it's at today, he's probably looking, yeah, they sitting on a lot. And Esau would know, because a lot of the times Esau does these backdoor deals with these countries. So he know you do business with this nigga, then he's trying to rob you on the back end. Yeah, I'm gonna come and get that later. This is how he does business. So now you get to see, okay, I bought some gold from him so I could stabilize my currency and all that. But now look what he's doing. He's trying to get coming through the back door and rob me for something I just bought off this nigga. That's Esau, damn crook. Okay. As a matter of fact, that I wanted to go to Deuteronomy 33:24. That's a thief, man. That's a nigga. If I know one, that's somebody like, if you don't know, man, this is how niggas be dying in the hood. You think he's an upright man, you dealing with a snake and you don't even know it. You gotta, when you see a snake, you supposed to know it, man. You supposed to know this nigga ain't right, man. This nigga ain't right. And if I don't get away from him, I'm gonna have to smoke this nigga, man. Like, that's just how it is in the hood, man. If you don't pick up on key cues, you can be up out of here, man. And you dealing with Esau, and you see how the people are over there. Oh, we gonna vote for Donald Trump. Just dumb. And that's, it's not just them either. It's you damn Haitians, Jamaicans, it's all of them. It's all the tribes of Israel, man. If they don't have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, they're done. They'll open up their arms to a damn wolf. Deuteronomy 33:24. And of Asher, he said, let Asher be blessed with children. Let him be acceptable to his brethren, and let him dip his foot in oil. So he got oil. That's just one thing, but I don't even think he really wants that. I don't think he really wants that, man. He wants that gold, man. He wants that silver. He wants those resources so he can build. Because I think China's cutting. He ain't got those mineral resources like he wants. And what's going on? Ukraine got. They got something over there. I forgot what resource they have. Let me look it up. But he's losing that war, so he's gonna lose access to that. So he's gonna have to go find what he needs from other means, like Venezuela, like Africa. Deuteronomy 33:25. Thy shoes shall be iron and brass, and as thy days, so shall thy strength be. So let me look at this word. Let's look at the iron and brass. It probably just means iron and brass. But let's just look into it while we're here. iron, or as material or furniture, utensils, implements, tool of iron, harshness, strength, oppression, addition, hardness, and firmness. It says a smith. Let's look in the root word. Berzereth, in leanness, choice olive, probably. Let's just look it up. As a matter of fact, Deuteronomy 33 and 25. I just want to see what it says. Deuteronomy 33, verse 25. As your days, so shall your strength be, as a promise of God's sufficient provision. No, give me the whole damn verse. You know, it even give you the. Let me just circle the whole thing. I'm telling you, man. They hate talking about Israel. That's what it is. Come on, man. Deuteronomy 33 and 25 from the Bible spoken by Moses. God provides exactly the grace and power needed for each moment, ensuring supporters never face unbearable burdens. Asher promises enduring provision and strength. The iron and brass signifies impregnable security, like fortifications or strong gates, not literal shoes. And as that day, so they don't know what it's talking about. It's talking about the natural resources and it's in the land. So you can't really be confused by this, man. They just don't know. They don't even go into the fact this is Asher, and they're not going to put everything together. It's all through the Spirit, if you can receive it. But he's blessed. He has, like his foot's dipped in oil. Okay? So that's Esau trying to be like the Most High. Let me grab this in 1 Maccabees 8 and verse 4. And that by their policy and patience, they had conquered all that place, though it were very far from them. And just like Venezuela. And the kings also that came against them from the uttermost parts of the earth, till they had discomfited them. Let's look at this word, discomfited. Make feel uneasy, embarrassed, and given them a great overthrow, so that the rest did give them tribute every year. And that's what they're telling you. He's telling me, no, you're going to give me 30 to 50 million barrels of your oil, sanctified oil. It's the best oil in the world. You sound like he came up on some cocaine. Like you dip your finger in the kilo and you lick your finger and be like, yeah, this is pure shit. That's how he's talking, like he's a mob boss. Yeah, this is what I came for. This is what I was looking for. 1 Maccabees 8, verse 5. Besides this, how they had discomfited in battle Philip and Perseus, king of the Sidonians, with others that lift up themselves against them, and had overcome them. So they win a lot of battles. Now I believe this is talking about the Japhites. Let me look this up, as a matter of fact, because we got AI now. I want to see what AI got to say about these precepts. 1 Maccabees chapter 8, verse 1. Are the Romans the Japhites during this time? I don't think it's going to tell me, but let me see what it says. Come on, man. 1 Maccabees 8, verse 1. Are the Romans Japhites? Oh, that's not, I understand what I'm saying. Japheth. Yes, according to biblical genealogy and the understanding commonly taught in GMS style breakdowns, the Romans are the Japhite. Can you give me some context? Let's walk through it scripturally and historically. Okay, this chapter introduces Rome as the rising world power. Israel under Judas Maccabeus is seeking a lead alliance against the Greeks, the Seleucids. Rome is presented as Gentile empire, distinct from Shem, Israel. The table of nations, the sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog. I know who that. From Japheth come the Indo-European peoples, which include Greeks, Romans, Celts, Germans, Slavs. Romans descend from Japheth via Javan. Javan equals Greeks in Genesis 10:4. Javan is universally recognized as the father of the Greeks. Rome originated from Greek colonies, especially Kittim, Cyprus, and Asian settlers. Deuteronomy 8:21, he in the rough goat is the king of Greece. Now that's talking about Edomite. But let's see what else it says. Genesis 9:27, God shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem. Breakdown, enlarge Japheth, vast territorial expansion. Roman Empire fits perfectly. Dwell in the tents of Shem, Japheth ruling over Israel, fulfilled under Rome. Japheth ruling over Israel, fulfilled under Rome. Rome conquered Jerusalem in 63 BC, destroyed the temple in 70 AD, ruled over Shem, Israel, politically, economically. That's Esau, not Japheth. Romans versus Israelites. Can you give me dates of when Japheth was Rome? See what it says. 2 through 1600 to 1100 BC. Key point: Rome comes out of the Greek Javanite world. I'm confusing myself, man, but I didn't want to get too deep into it. But he's still implementing. I did want to do some studying on that, but this is not what I'm trying to do right now. First Maccabees 8 in verse where am I? 6. How also Antiochus, the great king of Asia, that came against them in battle, having 120 elephants with horsemen and chariots and a very great army, was discomfited by them, and how they took him alive and covenanted that he and such as reigned after him should pay a great tribute and give hostages in that which was agreed upon. And that's what he's doing right now. Okay, you got give hostages, took him alive. They took Antiochus Epiphanes. He that was hostage at Rome, I think, what scripture is that? He that was hostage at Rome. He that was hostage at Rome. KJV. Oh, no. I think it was Daniel. Am I thinking about Daniel? I might be thinking about First Maccabees. I think I'm thinking about Maccabees. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, First Maccabees 11. First Maccabees 1 verse 10. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. So that's what they would do. So he's using the same things like the Romans did, man. And he's the modern day Roman today. But it's also showing you that the original Romans weren't even Esau. Esau took over their land too and became them. That's him coveting fields. That's what he does. He'll take over your land. And the next thing you know, there's a meme online that shows Trump with black hair with one of those Spanish mustaches, just the top beard, and they call him El Presidente. Trumpioso or something like that. And he got a Venezuelan thing over his chest like he's from Venezuela. First Maccabees 8 and 7, and how they took him alive and covenanted that he and such as reigned after him should pay a great tribute and give hostages in that which was agreed upon in the country of India and Media and Lydia and of the goodliest countries which they took of him and gave to King Eumenes. It says, moreover, how the Grecians had determined to come and destroy them, and that they, having knowledge thereof, sent against them a certain captain. This is Judas asking them, but it's going into the mindset of these Romans, man. They take over kings. They ask for tribute. You know, this is all their forte.
The report suggests that the threat of a second U.S. military operation against Venezuela remains on the table, alongside leverage in the form of sanctions relief and potential access to Rodriguez's financial assets. However, several sources admitted there is currently no clear plan to lift sanctions or deliver meaningful humanitarian aid.
Well, Rubio just gave a plan. He had a 3-phase plan on how he was going to do that. Which isn't going to work because it's an Edomite. They don't do good foreign policy. What's going to happen is Venezuela's going to have to go to war. That's what's going to happen. Or they let Machado in there, and the same thing's going to happen.
Trump administration is also pressing for the release of Americans detained in Venezuela, but has reportedly stopped short of demanding freedom for all political opposition figures. Insiders warned that Rodriguez's ability to comply is limited by intense rivalries among Venezuela's power brokers, with one source calling the political environment an unstable pit of vipers. Delcy Rodriguez, a longtime ally of President Nicolas Maduro, was sworn in as interim president after a dramatic U.S. raid that saw Maduro and his wife taken into American custody. At her swearing in, Rodriguez condemned the operation and vowed that Venezuela would never again become a colony of another empire. Yet she also signaled willingness to engage in what she described as cooperation with Washington.
I come as the Executive Vice President of the Constitutional President of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro Moros, to take the oath. I come with deep sorrow for the immense suffering that has been deeply inflicted upon the people of Venezuela following a truly illegitimate and unjustified...
Man, that's just fucking lies. But I did hear some reports about their demands, but now this is, I don't know if they're doing a voiceover, but point is, you try to go in there, and now he just takes your president, and now he's running off demands like a damn mob boss. ABC World News tonight. Let's see what they say.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York.
As a matter of fact, I ain't even want to go to that. Where's this lady at? Where's this lady at, man? Yeah, this chick.
Peace Prize, did that actually happen? I had read that somewhere. I wasn't sure if it was true.
Well, it hasn't happened yet, but I certainly would love to be able to personally tell him that we believe the Venezuelan people, because this is a prize of the Venezuelan people, certainly want to give it to him and share it with him.
So that's her opposition. If you don't get Rodriguez, you get her, and she wants to share her Nobel Peace Prize with Donald Duck. So what else would she want to share? She probably want to share everything. She probably want to get married to the duck. So there you go, man. That's Israel. That's the type. This is why we got to be changed, man. Because the same thing is going to keep happening over and over again, man. The only thing that's going to happen is that's why the Lord got to destroy this place. When you welcome in your enemy, something's wrong with you mentally. Okay, something's really wrong with you. I don't know if they're getting, some propaganda news and they're being told something different. Who knows what the hell's going on over there? But for some reason, Israel doesn't think they gotta hate anybody. All right, you don't hate a wolf when you're a lamb, and see how far you get with that. Nah, see how cool he is? Okay. Amos 5 verse 15, hate the evil and love the good, but y'all do the opposite. Hate the evil, man. Esau's evil. You can hate him. Not because of his skin color. And come on, man. You got to think better than that. I always go to Jeremiah. I know it's Isaiah, the 5th chapter. Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. That's what you do when you come up against the men who are telling you the truth. You hate those who tell you the truth. But you want those lies, but those lies ain't gonna, it's only so long that these lies are gonna last. Is John 8? Let me see. No, it's not John 8. Might be Luke or something. Let me see. Do you hate me because I tell you the truth? KJV. Galatians 4 verse 16. I always forget that. Galatians 4 verse 16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? That's what happens. So that's you hating the person, you hating the messenger for telling you the truth. Okay, you want those smooth lies, man. Those smooth lies are gonna get you killed, man. And when you read Ezekiel the 33rd chapter, it tells you that blood will be upon your hands if you don't tell them the truth. So we pretty much cleaning the blood off our hands before your ass get judged. So he's done. I'm done with Delcy. Let's see what this is.
This is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. We begin tonight here with the chaos unfolding after an ICE agent shoots and kills a woman in Minneapolis. Authorities say it happened during an immigration-related operation. Chilling video of the shooting now emerging on social media tonight. And a warning here, the images are disturbing. The driver, a 37-year-old woman behind the wheel of her SUV, partially blocking an intersection. Two federal agents try to open her door. You see the vehicle reverse and then drive forward. A third agent then opening fire, shooting multiple.
I mean, I was shot her ass too. The fuck you think people are out of their damn minds. You about to run me over? Before you run me over, you're gonna hold 3 of these, in my opinion. Read your Bible, man. Romans 13:1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers. For there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power resisteth the ordinance of God, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. So she was damned. A lot of you women are damned. That's going to continue. Okay? It says judgments. Judgment. Condemnation of wrong, the decision whether severe or mild, which one passes on the faults of others. So that was your fault. In a forensic sense. Oh, shit, man. Look it up, man. The Lord is not lying, man. In a forensic sense. Forensic, meaning relating to or denoting the application of scientific methods and techniques to the investigation of a crime relating to courts of law. So in a forensic sense, the sentence of a judge, the punishment with which one is sentenced, condemnatory sentence, penal judgment sentence, a matter to be judicially decided, a lawsuit, a case in court. Yeah, but she ain't gonna make it to court. He gonna beat the case too. She clearly is trying to run him over. Romans 13:3, for rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. Will thou then not be afraid of the power? She wasn't afraid of the power. Do that which is good, like stop like the police officer told you to stop, and thou shalt have praise of the same. And you want to be put to death. For he is the minister of God to thee for good, but if thou do that which is evil, be afraid, for he beareth not the sword in vain. And the modern day sword is the gun. He don't wear that shit for no reason. For he is the minister of God, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. So there you go. It's not written for no reason. Be subject to government. Okay. It's for your good, man, to follow what the Lord says. He didn't have this. This is the condition of the battle. Baruch 4:1. This is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. So if you leave it, you're going to die. But y'all hate Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 32. Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. Hear instruction and be wise, and refuse it not. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the post of my doors. For whoso findeth me findeth life, and shall obtain favor of the Lord. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death. So you hate Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, you must love death. Okay. What else did I want to go into today? What did Dabu say today? Dabu, the marina, an oil tanker formerly called Bella 1, is sanctioned for shipping Iranian oil tied to groups like Hezbollah. I don't know what he's talking about. I didn't watch that yet. There's another. I'm done with her, man. Let me see what else she did. No, I'm done with her. She's done. So you want to set her up in place? She's gonna ruin. She's gonna sell your country out and just take care of herself. She might not even be Venezuelan. I was trying to look that up, but it said that her roots are. I think she's Amalek though. She's Amalek. Woman fatally shot by ICE in Minneapolis. Am I done with that? Did I just look at that?
Today. Yeah, Hallie, that's right. The Minneapolis Star-Tribune identifying her as Renee Nicole Good, 37 years old, according to multiple U.S. Officials and lawmakers, that she was a U.S. citizen.
Renee Nicole Good. The funny part about all of this is if you take her name, I forgot the anagram, it might read something else, man. This might all be a damn psyop, or it might. Who knows? Who knows, man? But if it's gonna start let's see the reaction of the people, because I was watching the Minneapolis governor or the mayor say that they're. I think they're setting up ICE right now. Let me see what Waltz is saying. What is the governor of Minnesota saying about the shooting of a lady from ICE, and what is the mayor saying? Minnesota governor says he is preparing National Guard amid furor over fatal ICE. So I don't know if the protests are getting wild. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, I'm surprised he still has a job. He has issued an order to prepare the state's National Guard while urging peaceful protests. You know what?
Shoots and kills a woman in Minneapolis. Authorities say it happened during an immigration-related operation. Chilling video of...
That's where I was. I don't know. I'll just watch what he's saying here.
Of the shooting now emerging on social media tonight. And a warning here, the images are disturbing. The driver, a 37-year-old woman behind the wheel of her SUV, partially blocking an intersection. Two federal agents try to open her door. You see the vehicle reverse and then drive forward. A third agent then opening fire, shooting multiple times, killing the driver, hitting her in the head. All of this playing out in front of protesters. Tonight, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem claiming the driver tried to run over ICE agents. The mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, saying these claims of self-defense from ICE are, quote, a garbage narrative, telling ICE...
And look at all the people that go out there. See, and this could be all fucking Esau setting this up, trying to lure you damn idiots out there so he can put your ass to death. Okay, I mean, of course, there's always going to be some innocent people who believe this damn devil. But if you listen to the scriptures, you would understand you're not supposed to be involved in any of this shit. You better hope that the Lord has mercy on you. Let these people fight their own battles, man. Esau's kingdom's going down. If you're trying to uphold this place, you're going to be destroyed with it. It tells you in the book of Proverbs 11 and 21. Let's grab it. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. So you want to hold hands with them, you're going to be destroyed. I wanted to go to Ecclesiastes, chapter 5 and 8. If thou seest the oppression of the poor and the violent perverting of judgment and justice in a province, you see, a lot of y'all think this is a violent perversion of justice in a province. Marvel not at the matter. Meaning, don't be amazed by these things happening. For he that is higher than the highest regardeth, and there be higher than they. So he understands and sees all these things happening. But you need to know his word. You transgress the law, sin is the transgression of the law. All those that hate me love death. It tells you in Romans 6 and 23, the wages of sin is death. You know? And I ain't talking shit. I'm just saying. It's very important that we keep, especially if you're a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American, if you're an Israelite man, you got a woman, a child, you got to keep the laws, man. The Lord got judgment every single day. Tomorrow's going to be a whole new story. Tomorrow, this is just today. You getting bent out of shape for something there's more shit that's going to happen tomorrow. Psalm 7:11, God judges the righteous and God is angry with the wicked every day. So he's angry with them. And it ain't just Esau, which 2/3 of you Negroes too, Latinos and Native Americans. Psalms 9 and 17, the wicked shall be turned into, I don't know why I keep grabbing that. Psalm 9 and 16, the Lord Yahweh is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. So this is how the Lord is known by his judgments. That's just, he might not even judged her because of that. But judgment came. A lot of the times it's a way that you're living that the Lord just hates. We're all here for judgment. This is the place of judgment. What you thought this was? Let me grab this in the book of Ecclesiastes 3. Verse 18 is not, no, that's not what I'm looking for. No, Ecclesiastes 3. I'll start at 14. I know that whatsoever God doeth, it shall be forever. Nothing can be put to it, nor anything taken from it. And God doeth it, that men should fear before him. So everything that he does, you better recognize it. And you need to fear the Lord. It tells you in Proverbs 1 and 7, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. This is the book of Ecclesiastes 3, verse 15. That which have been is now, and that which is to be have already been, and God requireth that which is past. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. So the place under the sun is the earth. Okay? That's the place of judgment. So we're here to be judged for our sins. We hope that the Lord have mercy upon us because we did something. We're not in the kingdom yet. Okay, and if you ain't standing up for righteousness, man, and he says that the wickedness was there in the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. Ecclesiastes 3, verse 17, I said in my heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time there for every purpose and for every work. So the righteous and the wicked is talking about Israel and Esau. Okay, and we're all in the same realm. And we got to do the best that we can. Hopefully the Lord have mercy on us. But the judgment's really going to come for Esau. Because we getting out of our captivity and he's getting closer to his. Ecclesiastes 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. So you're supposed to keep the commandments. And obeying the law and stopping when he tells you to stop is one of the ones you're supposed to. Now, I don't know what the Lord's doing with all these white girls, man, but he's putting Becky to death. She getting poked in her neck on subway stations. She's not getting away like she used to. The Lord is judging Esau. Okay? Before, they'll start a so-called white woman. Oh, don't worry. She didn't mean to do it. Now he's blowing her away. And that's because of Deuteronomy 30:7. And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. So he's punishing them. You don't want to be involved with that. They got a lot of judgment coming to them, and they don't even understand why. They're about to lose their nation. These curses are falling upon them. They're starting to feel oppressed. Just like you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Let the Lord do his work.
And local officials here say they think this is important, that she was absolutely not the target of ICE operations here in the area. People have been chanting her name in this crowd behind me. You saw this protest here in the last hour. It's grown significantly since then. You can see her there, her mother telling the Star Tribune that, in her words, it was so stupid, the circumstances in which she was killed, and that, quote, her daughter was probably terrified. Her name, again, ringing through this crowd as people kind of circulate the video, talk about the video, check with each other on what did you see in the video. We've been asking people in this crowd, what did you see when you saw the video? And
I saw judgment from the Lord. It put fear in my heart. That's what I saw. I don't know what the world sees when they see things like this. They think a police officer killed. No, I see a vengeance. I see a spirit created for vengeance. He was created to do just what he did at that exact moment for that exact reason. That's what I see. But the world sees it as violent perversion of justice. They see it as, he was in the wrong. Ecclesiasticus 39. Where am I? Ecclesiasticus 39 and 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So the Lord created the spirit to appease his wrath. You go in the book of 1 Kings, the 22nd chapter. He sent King Ahab into Ramoth Gilead and he got put to death. There was a council that the Lord had with the angels, and he said, I'll go down and be a lying spirit unto him. Well, there was probably another council, and one spirit said, I'll go down, I'll put 3 in her head, 1 in her head, I'll shoot it through I'll put a thought in her head to run me over, and I'll blow her away with the 9mm. And the Lord said, that's a good idea, go down there and do that for me. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword. The modern day sword is the gun. Punishing the wicked to destruction. So, and the wicked goes for everybody who ain't keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. So he wasn't going to transgress the Heavenly Father. That was the spirit that was created for vengeance. So we got to be aware of that. We don't want to be transgressing. And she just happened to be transgressing Romans the 13th chapter when she got blown away. That's what I see.
The incredibly consistent through line is that no one that we've spoken to agrees with the Trump administration's characterization of what they say happened here earlier today. We're at the intersection where this shooting took place. The Trump administration.
What do you think he was going to say? He wrote all these executive orders to protect his police officers. He's about to kill. There's a source slaughter coming. What do you think this is? You don't know he got a lot of so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans he wants to put to death? You better open your eyes.
Of course, saying that ICE officer was firing in self-defense. As we now know, Renee Good drove toward him. People out here say they don't see someone trying to hit an ICE officer with their car. They see We had multiple people tell us this. They believe they saw someone trying to get away, someone trying to steer away from the officer and flee the scene as multiple officers surrounded her car, the one who eventually fired stepping in front of it, which you can see in the vehicle. So a lot of anger at ICE in this.
Who cares what you see? Anyone that got a gun, you better see it the way he sees it. He birthed out the sword in vain. You should have grabbed your gun if you were going to do some stupid shit like that.
Crowd and a lot of, again, people just learning in real time about the woman who was now killed here today, and obviously will be a focal point on top of everyone's mind here as this historic DHS ICE operation continues to unfold in this city that now truly, Hallie, feels under siege, I can tell you.
We thank you for watching.
Why do you think Esau joined? He joined that just so he could do that. And that's what do you think he joins the military for? He wants to catch a body. That's like his favorite thing to do. He likes to kill people, man. What don't you get about that? He's a bloodthirsty demon. That's why they join occupations like that. So they really want to just put niggas to death, but they'll put you to death too. They'll take that. Isaiah 45:7, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So give the Lord his credit. You're going to be mad at anybody, be mad at Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, because he's the one who did it. He authorized it. Say nothing, you give me all this dramatic music. I want to hear what happened. U.S. captures Russia's link. What happened, man? Tell me what I need to know. What's so special about this, man? I thought I had CNN.
Into the northern Atlantic. It's been heading sort of skirting wide of Ireland, heading up towards Iceland and that sort of gap to go towards the north of Russia, the Arctic Circle. Marine tracking experts believe a vessel of this size was likely headed towards Murmansk. That was the track that it was on, but that all came to a sudden screeching halt about 2.5 hours ago. Marine trackers noticing that the ship turned direction at that moment, and this really comports with the information we're getting now that the ship has been seized by U.S. military and Coast Guard. It has been tracked closely by them, as we say, since it fled the coast of Venezuela about 2 weeks ago. What makes this even more interesting, if you will, the ship, when it started its journey 2 weeks ago, was called the Bella One. Halfway along that route, it changed its name to the Marinera and reflagged itself as Russian. Not clear why. Were they trying to get protection from Russia? Was it always Russian? Unclear. The port that it appeared to be headed for in the past couple of days does appear to have been a Russian port. But now that ship has turned around, no longer heading north, for the last couple of hours heading south. Not clear where it will end up. It is believed to be empty, or at least devoid of oil. We don't know what else or who else may be on board of it, but certainly enough for Russia to deploy military assets to try to give it some shadow of some kind of protection, and clearly not enough to deter the U.S. Coast Guard and the U.S. military assets that seized it a few hours ago.
The U.S. Coast Guard. Hold on. What the hell is the U.S. Coast Guard doing? I'm confused. I gotta look this up. The U.S. Coast Guard. What the fuck? Why would the U.S. Coast Guard be taking a Russian tanker? That's not the U.S. Coast. The U.S. Coast Guard seized a Russian flag tanker, the Marinera, formerly Bella 1, because it violated U.S. sanctions by trafficking oil linked to Venezuela's sanctioned Ghost Fleet, attempted to evade U.S. blockades by changing its flag to Russia mid-voyage. Yeah, but I thought this was by Iceland. This seizure is part of a broader effort to pressure Venezuela, occurring after the U.S. captured President Maduro, with officials claiming the ship was effectively stateless and operating illegally despite Russian protests over the seizure of its flagged vessel. Where was the Russian tanker seized? U.S. seizes Venezuela-linked Russian flag oil tanker after where? Where? Yeah, it says a Russian flag tanker, the Marinera, formerly Bella 1, was seized by U.S. forces in the North Atlantic Ocean near Iceland. That's not your coast. It said the U.S. Coast Guard. That's not your coast, man. On January 7th, 2026. For violating sanctions related to Venezuela. What? With the UK assisting in the operation, a second vessel, the Sophia, was seized in the Caribbean around the same time. That don't make any sense. Is the U.S. Coast Guard supposed to be on the Icelandic coast seizing ships? Yes, the U.S. Coast Guard, supported by U.S. military forces, recently seized a sanctioned Russian-flagged oil tanker in the North Atlantic near Iceland as part of a campaign against Venezuelan oil smuggling, demonstrating their role in enforcing sanctions and international maritime law, even far from U.S. shores, with assistance from U.K. forces in the operation. Okay. They're being assisted by U.K. forces, but I'm like, why would the U.S. Coast Guard be on the Icelandic? So they working with their allies in that area. I'm surprised they're not like, get the fuck away from our border, motherfucker. Let me get this. Pete Hegseth says U.S. is ushering in revival of peace through strength.
And on this tour, we'll be traveling from the shipyards of the coast to the factories of the heartland, to see the work being done by the military and our partners in American manufacturing, to usher in a new golden age of peace through strength, a revival of our industrial base, all American made by the best Americans.
Yo, their wordplay, Esau's wordplay is good, man. He'll just throw peace through strength in the midst of talking about manufacturing and all this other shit, and you'll just go right over your head. But nah, Esau, you're exposed, man. We're getting we've been around you snakes too long. Now we're starting to speak like you. Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter. Wisdom of Solomon 2:1. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright. Our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. So that's how the Edomites think. They believe in YOLO. You only live once. They don't believe them coming back through the regeneration. They think that they don't have to pay for their sins. They hold their sins until they die, then they confess it on their deathbed. And, yeah, I killed Bob Marley. I killed this man. I shot a little black boy going to school. And they think the Catholic, oh, good thing you confessed. Now just give us, 100,000 and we'll put you in purgatory. That's how these Edomites think. They're out of their damn mind. No, you're going to come back through the regeneration. We're going to take you, as soon as you come out of your womb, we're going to put handcuffs around your neck. And that's going to be your best friend. For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the moving of our heart. So they think you're only here for a short time, you die, and then that's it. You might as well enjoy yourself while you're here. Which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air. They think so. Yeah, you return back to the Heavenly Father, but like I read in Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, you're going to come back to the place of judgment. And our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance. And our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun and overcome with the heat thereof. So your name is going to be forgotten. So they're thinking, pretty much all their works and everything, like this whole world's going to be, everything they've done is going to be forgotten. And it is, but not in the way that they think it is. Oh, it's been a long time, because you don't know what the future holds, but we know what the future holds. It's not going to be another nation and they get rid of everything that you had. Nah, man, you're going to be remembered for being the most wicked people down here on the earth. You're not going to be remembered for the victory. In your head, you think you should be remembered for all these victories that you won. You think you got this, like it's a glorious past that you left down here, and you didn't. No, you left a lot of people mad at you, man. You robbed a lot of people. You played a lot of people. That's how you're remembered right now. That's why you're getting a shameful spewing on your glory. And you're trying to hold on to that. But it's so shameful that the things that how you got established, your own people looking at you like, what the hell? And that's how this place was established. You were robbing, stealing, killing. How do you think Esau got there? Now they're looking at you like, even your own people are like, what the fuck are you doing? They're not even supporting you. See, it would be in their best interest to be backing up the wicked because they're wicked. But Esau's so confused, some of them think they're actually righteous. They don't know that they're Edomites. Wisdom of Solomon 2:5. For our time is as a very shadow that passeth away, and after our end there is no returning, for it is fast sealed, so that no man cometh again. So back to them thinking that they don't have to pay for their sins. Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily use the creatures like as in youth. Let us enjoy the good things that are present. They got their, and that's what they got the fatness of the earth. That's what they're experiencing. Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass by us. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place, for this is our portion, and our lot is this. So that's what they do. They leave their joyfulness in every place, leave their tokens, they leave their statutes. Look at what we did here. We conquered, we killed a bunch of people here with smallpox blankets, and they'll erect a statue in that area, of a demon that robbed, stole, and killed over there. And they'll glorify him, just like Christopher Columbus. They glorify him. He came and slaughtered you, so-called. That's why y'all Catholics and Christians today give you that false sense of Christianity, putting your family to death, and now the generations later, you believing in something your families died for. Wisdom of Solomon 2:10. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the aged, and they oppress Israel. Okay. Ultimately, the elect. This is talking about poor righteous man. It's ultimately talking about the whole Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, goes into how Esau is and 2/3 of the nation of Israel. And this precept can go all the way back to Yahweh Shai and how the Sadducees and Pharisees and 2/3 of Israel were treating him when he was here. Wisdom of Solomon 2:11. Let our strength be the law of justice. This is what I wanted. For that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. So he was saying peace through strength. Okay. So he's saying that because let our strength be the law of justice. His strength is his military might. That's how he's going to bring forth peace, right? For that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. So that which is feeble, those who don't have the power to do anything against me, there ain't no power in that. If you can't do nothing against me, then let our strength be the law of justice. Let our military be the law of justice. Because what the hell are you going to do to him? Okay? And that matches up with the mindset of Pete Hegseth. Eat him. What's this? It says judge in Netanyahu corruption trial killed. Ooh, let me see this.
A senior Israeli judge said to be involved in Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's corruption case was killed after a vehicle driving off a road came on a major highway and then plowed into his motorcycle. Now, Judge Benny Sagi, the president of the Beersheba District Court, died at the scene following the collision on Route 6 in southern Israel on Sunday. An investigation has now been launched into the circumstances of this crash, and according to the Israeli Emergency Medical Service, Magen David Adom, the medics and the paramedics who arrived at the site found Sagi with multiple injuries and no signs of life. The paramedics have described the incident as shocking, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. Over the past year and a half, Sagi had served as president of the Beersheba District Court, having arrived from Tel Aviv District Court. His funeral took place on Monday. The President Isaac Herzog has said that he was shocked and pained by the loss, praising Sagi as a brilliant jurist known for his integrity and professionalism. The Supreme Court President Isaac Ahmed said that the judiciary was dismayed by the tragedy, describing Sagi as a man with a huge heart who was deeply respected by colleagues. Now, Sagi was presiding over the Netanyahu corruption case in December last.
Hold on, where's your beard at? Shall not round the corner. You're not supposed to be putting no reason to your. You're not supposed to model your beard, man. I'm just saying, if you Israel, why wouldn't you keep the law? That's why the judgment be coming.
Year, Netanyahu took the stand for the first time since asking the president for a pardon in his long-running corruption trial. Netanyahu was indicted in 2019 on charges of bribery, fraud and breach of trust, all of which Netanyahu has denied. The trial began in 2020 and involves 3 criminal cases, and Netanyahu's lawyers have requested for a pardon from President Isaac Herzog, arguing that frequent court hearings impact his ability to govern and that a pardon will serve the national interest. They've also maintained that the president has the authority to grant it on the grounds of public interest.
So the judge just ended up being killed. Hey. Let me grab this. They are not in trouble like other men. Psalm 73:5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men, because the Lord got a hedge about him. It's not his time. He got more work to do. The Lord's still using him. Okay, whatever, he got him getting away with a bunch of shit. But let me see what Dabu's talking about.
Entire hemisphere into a war front for people that are sleeping on it. I've been warning about it for months and months and months. I mean, on day one, Trump came in and signed an executive order saying that we were under an emergency, a state of emergency because of cartels. And we went pretty much all year last year without any moves being made in terms of that state of emergency. Well, now we've surrounded the entire Caribbean. All of Central America is surrounded and the threats are flying. And we got stuff popping off rather quickly here that people need to pay attention to. We just chased down and seized a Russian vessel in the Atlantic that turned around and tried to head back toward Russia. It was said that it didn't even have a Russian emblem on it, and they painted one on it, and then was seeking Russia's protection. It's said to be Iranian linked. So they've seized that. Russia has a submarine that they just sent into the area, and we know that they're always creeping all over the place anyway. But they are sending military assets to the Atlantic, stalking our military that just snatched up one of their boats. This is as close as it gets to confrontation. We just had 16 vessels in an organized manner break the blockade and bust through it, going different directions to test the U.S. military. Now, the Chinese is rolling out their Navy. They're rolling out their Navy because they're saying they're going to send military down right next to our country to protect their vessels that are going in and out of Venezuela to get oil. Chinese Navy being rolled out now, okay? The largest on the planet, by the way, at this point, is what we're about to have to deal with. Trump turning his guns toward Colombia, saying that they're running cocaine mills in there. And the guy is running his mouth to Trump, saying, oh, come and arrest me, put me in orange pajamas and all this. He's going to get it. I'm telling you right now, we're going to make a military move on Colombia. It's coming.
Oh, shit, man. Oh, shit, I got to look that up, man. Oh, man, come put me in orange. See, it's that time, man. Colombia president mocks Trump. I don't know. Let's see what pops up. 1 day ago, Colombia foreign minister responds to Trump's threats against Colombian. Let's see CBS News.
From what we've seen the first year of operation,
responses have been mixed across the region and along bordering nations. Some Venezuelans celebrate.
That nigga talk like a bitch. Colombia's president pushes back against Trump's threats as tension dry. But that says 2 days ago. Let's try this. Let's see what this is.
We have also stated that we reject all threats made against any country and that we reject colonial-style administrations once we have achieved national sovereignty. An offence against the president is an offence against our country and a violation of all the democratic processes which have been going on for years. This is our position.
I don't know where he found that, but great honor. Trump speaks Colombian president. Hold on. What's this? U.S.-Colombia tensions escalate as Petro calls on supporters to mobilize. Let's see this one.
Colombia's President Gustavo Petro has called his supporters to mobilize. The call to the streets following comments from U.S. President Donald Trump that a military operation against Colombia sounds good to him. Tension in Colombia has mounted following the U.S. capture of Nicolas Maduro in neighboring Venezuela. Stuart Ramsey reports from Colombia.
The point is, it's really easy to forget that this all started about drugs, with President Trump saying Latin American drug trade is a problem for the United States and he's going to stop it. Venezuela was obviously immediately identified. It's morphed somewhat more into regime change and oil, but Colombia, one of the biggest producers of cocaine in the world, and Mexico, were both threatened by President Trump, and that's continued. In fact, President Trump says the president here is nothing more than a drug trader. Interestingly, he's hit back by saying that Donald Trump is a murderer for the attacks on these small boats that we saw in the Caribbean. There is definitely concern in Colombia that this could get developed further. President Trump has said that he wouldn't rule out attacking Colombia, and he says that the president will go. Well, interestingly, he will effectively come to an end because his term ends in May. And I think it's also worth noting, and this is really, really important, is that the Colombian military and the United States military are absolutely together on everything, and they have been for decades now. I was with the Colombian military senior commanders who were telling me it doesn't really matter what President Trump says. They always work with the United States military. The defense secretary here has said exactly the same, and that none of the relations between the two have changed. So this is very much a personal matter, I think, between the two presidents. It's possible that the United States, with the Colombian military, could identify targets, drug manufacturing areas, supply routes into Venezuela that could be attacked. But this whole concept of Colombia itself being attacked by the United States military is literally, as I frankly put it to me by military sources here, they literally said it is absolutely laughable.
You don't need a second. Oh, you keep laughing. When he bring his ass in there, Maduro was dancing. And he brought his ass in there too. So you keep playing with the duck, he gonna get you, man. He's gonna get your ass. Y'all don't get it, man. Think he's playing with y'all. He ain't playing with y'all. That's what, you know what? I hope Duck fuck y'all up, man. Real talk, man. I don't blame Esau for fucking y'all up. That's exactly what I would do. I would go through smiting you niggas, especially if I hate you niggas. Fuck y'all. Merz confirms Germany's full support for Ukraine's security and reconstruction against Russia. Let the Lord send the sword in there. That's what you niggas need. You need your ass kicked.
Chancellor, Frederick, over to you. Thank you, Emmanuel. Ladies and gentlemen, this new year is beginning exactly the way the old one ended. That's to say, with intensive peace diplomacy for Ukraine. And today's meeting of the Coalition of the Willing was a further step on this path towards peace. And so I'd like to start by thanking Emmanuel Macron for his hospitality here in Paris. And also like to thank both Emmanuel and Kiev for preparing this meeting today, along with Volodymyr Zelensky. Because, ladies and gentlemen, today...
He talks too slow. Merz confirms Germany's full support for Ukraine security and reconstruction against Russia. I don't know why who the hell are you? Chancellor Friedrich Merz highlights Germany's commitment to Ukraine at the Paris summit of the Coalition of the Willing. He emphasizes post-ceasefire security guarantees. He talking like he's the U.S. or something. Multinational coordination and long-term reconstruction efforts. Germany pledges political, financial, and military support to strengthen Ukraine's armed forces and economic resilience, ensuring a credible deterrent against Russian aggression. I don't know. Maybe he got something. Maybe Merz got something up his sleeve, man. This is a teaming to be talking about. I doubt it though. Let me see what UK and France would deploy troops to Ukraine in event of peace deal, says Starr.
We signed a declaration of intent on the deployment of forces to Ukraine in the event of a peace deal.
So, British and French troops going to Ukraine.
This is a vital part of our ironcast commitment to stand with Ukraine for the long term.
Yep, so that means putting your boots on the ground over there, meaning your people gonna get put to death. Now, once your people start dying, man, that's not good, man. That's not good. Once you got blood in a war, man, it just gets uglier and uglier.
It paves the way for the legal framework under which British, French and partner forces could operate on Ukrainian soil, securing Ukraine's skies and seas. And
I wonder what Putin thinks about you doing that. You just made yourself a target. He was bombing other parts of Kiev. Kiev and Donbass, the front line where they're fighting is mad far away. His missiles can go. It can hit Britain. He might send a drone strike over there.
Regenerating Ukraine's armed forces for the future. We discussed these issues in detail today, and so I can say that following a ceasefire, the UK and France will establish military hubs across Ukraine.
Military hubs? Oh shit, hold on.
Across Ukraine. And the UK and France will establish military hubs across Ukraine and build protected facilities for weapons and military equipment to support Ukraine's defensive needs. And with our coalition partners, we've also agreed significant further steps. First, that we will participate in US-led monitoring and verification of any ceasefire. Second, we will support the long-time provision of armaments for Ukraine's defence. And third, we will work towards binding commitments to support Ukraine in the case of a future armed attack by Russia.
Yeah, so that's getting worse. Don't sound like it's getting better. Sounds like Revelation, the 6th chapter, just over and over. Edomite on Edomite crime. Or killing. Revelation 6:6, and I heard No, Revelation 6:4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. So that's them killing one another in these different wars. But yet they still talking about peace. Peace, 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 peace. When that's all you hear about them, but it's always war. It's always war for these devils. There's no peace. Isaiah 48:22 saith the Lord Yahweh unto the wicked. Okay, and that's talking about Esau. You can have the coalition of Europe and all this bullshit. That's not gonna bring forth peace. The only way you're gonna have peace is when the Prince of Peace returns, which is Yahweh Shai. Okay, Malak Tazadak. He's the King of Righteousness. He's the one that's gonna establish peace on the earth. All right, not Esau. Esau is incapable of establishing peace. He got to pay for his sins. How you gonna establish peace when you're the one going into slavery? All right, but I'm ending here. Lord's will, this was edifying. Shalom.